What is up, Halloween fans? I saw Halloween Ends here in Mexico, in beautiful Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. It was a lot of fun. Let me tell you what I think about it. I mean, first of all, what a surprise. I was so surprised at so many things. It was a crazy movie, but it was good. I mean, I'm not too mad about it right now. There are some things that I don't like, and we'll definitely get into that, but for the most part, it was a fun movie. It was a good throwback type of movie, I guess you could say. And, I just think that it could have been a lot worse. But anyway, it's definitely totally different than everything that we thought it was going to be, that's for sure. But first of all, seeing it in Mexico was fun because, I saw it in English, but they had the subtitles, and there's a lot of things that they would say in English in the movie, but with the subtitles, it wouldn't really translate that well. So there were a lot of times where I would laugh and nobody else would because it just didn't have the same effect. Like when the kid was talking to Corey and he was like saying something like, "Oh, I don't want, I don't want some ugly ass boy babysitter," or something like that. It didn't translate that well in the subtitles, so I started laughing and nobody else was, and I was like, crap. But it was such a fun movie. But yeah, first of all, I really liked Corey. The whole time leading up to the movie, I kept hearing about him and everything and how he was going to be a copycat killer, and I did not like that idea. It sounded horrible to me, and so I automatically had a bias against that. But Corey ended up being my favorite character of the whole movie, so I really liked him. And there's a lot of things to relate to about him, so that's what I really liked about him. And also because obviously this movie it pays heavy tribute to Christine, and I think that he honestly did a perfect job of playing that character of Arnie, and I just really love it. If you haven't seen Christine, you definitely need to watch it, and you'll understand why David Gordon Green did what he did. He's trying to pay tribute to John Carpenter. That's the thing. Halloween Ends was good, but it wasn't necessarily a good Halloween movie, and that's the problem with it. It's like a very good John Carpenter movie. I mean, amazing John Carpenter movie. With all the tributes to Christine, to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which John Carpenter didn't direct, but he was involved with it. So it's a great John Carpenter movie. And of course he did the music for it. But yeah, that's the problem, is that it wasn't exactly the best Halloween movie. My feelings after leaving the theater for Halloween Kills were way higher than Halloween Ends because I felt like I had just seen a Halloween movie in the theaters. And with Halloween Ends, it didn't really feel like a Halloween movie. It was just a good John Carpenter movie or something like that. So it definitely did not live up to the hype of being Halloween Ends, the final showdown, the end of the story between Michael and Laurie, and even the little bit of that they did have in there at the end when they're fighting, it just did not reach any expectations. There's no way that can be the final, showdown, the final, the big bang, I guess, the final move, the final act of the whole saga from the original Halloween all the way to Halloween Ends. There's just no way that can be the end of it all, and so I did not like that at all. But yeah, I'm kind of jumping around, but this is not supposed to be like an in-depth review or anything like that. It's just kind of telling some thoughts about it. I'm sure I'm gonna make tons of videos about it, so make sure you subscribe so we can talk about Halloween Ends for as long as we need to. But yeah, I just think that they didn't really need to make that epic showdown so short and small and kind of boring in a way. I mean, the way they had Michael pinned to the table and everything like that, I was just like, there's gotta be something more exciting, right? And then it just ended. So I really liked when he grabbed her neck, but at the end of that, it didn't go anywhere. He didn't even kill her. Nothing happened. It was just boring. I didn't like the way they killed Michael Myers, obviously. I didn't like that they killed him in the first place. I was someone that wanted Laurie Strode to die, but we didn't get that. And I had a feeling they wouldn't do that. But Corey Cunningham saved the movie. He was great the entire time. His character was so interesting. But the way they killed him off, again, it just felt like They left so much on the table, and it was a 2-hour movie. I mean, they were trying to fit too many things into one movie. And it was a 2-hour movie. It's a long movie, and they still couldn't do it that well. So I'm pretty disappointed in that. For me, it makes me feel like there needs to be another movie. There needs to be another movie so they can finish this off. And the problem is this: I don't think David Gordon Green and just the whole group they have together is going to be that involved if they do make another one. And that's a problem because I really love the aesthetics of these 3 movies in the trilogy. I love the way Michael is. I love the way Laurie is. Like, I love how Haddonfield is. Like, I just love how I love the scenes, like just the feel of the movies, the aesthetics of it. Not necessarily if they're good or bad, that's up for debate obviously, but the aesthetics of the movies I really like. I mean, the way Michael Myers, like the effects, the costume, the mask, it's a whole lot better than all the other Halloween movies, I think. So, I mean, except the original maybe, but they have it down to where it feels like a big deal, like a big Hollywood budget horror movie. They've done Michael Myers right. They didn't do some Halloween 4 mask or anything like that. They did a really good job with all the effects and all the costumes and everything. These are great movies in terms of aesthetics, and I'm just worried that that's gonna stop. There might be something better, but for whatever reason, people that have been in the Halloween franchise, they have a hard time getting the mask right and all the other things like that, and so I'm really worried that they won't be able to do it, but we'll see. You never know what happens, but if someone else takes over it, they're probably going to want to do something different, so they're going to feel different. And I just feel like they didn't take full advantage of the opportunity they had to really have a great trilogy, and I think that problem stems from the fact that they changed Halloween Ends from taking place on the same night as 2018 and Kills to taking place 4 years later. I think that was a huge mistake, so I'm really not happy that they did that. And I really liked the kills in the movie though. I mean, the kills were a lot of fun. I mean, I really like the whole scene where he's killing off those teenagers. The problem with the teenagers is that they were so annoying that they weren't even fun to be villains. Like they were so annoying in the way that they were, like, you don't understand why they're that annoying, you know what I mean? Like, there was no reason for them to be that annoying. There was no reason for them to be that mean to Corey and just that crazy to him. It just was, it didn't make sense. There was no sense to it. Like, it wasn't natural. And I will say that, like, at least the main actor from the leader of the group of kids, at least he was not a very good actor, and so that kind of ruined it too. So, but I loved the scene where Corey is like killing them off. I really loved that. It was a lot of fun. It was brutal, and it showed you that he has the power, the capabilities to do what he did. But I also love when they killed the nurse and the rich guy in the mansion. That was an amazing sequence. I never expected anything like that to happen. They were like tag teaming and stuff, so that was fun to watch. But also I loved how in that scene Corey has the scarecrow mask on and he's just like stabbing her so many times. That was vicious and crazy, and I just really loved that. That mask was scary too when he was wearing it. So, but yeah, I obviously did not like how Corey went and just beat Michael Myers up and grab the mask. That was just unnecessary. There's a lot of unnecessary things that they did with Michael Myers. There was a lot of cool things that he did. I loved how he had, a kind of a setup down there in the pipe. I mean, that was just, it was scary, and it was almost believable that he could be there. So I think that was a good choice. I think it was fine, but I just don't like that he was like so old and crazy. Like, I didn't think that was necessary. It's the final showdown. Just give him some strength. Yeah, at least, I mean, if you're gonna make him a little bit weak at the beginning and then he kind of regenerates some of his health, that's fine. But he was like, basically the entire movie is like a totally different Michael Myers from Halloween Kills, and I just didn't like that. It was totally different from 2018 too. In 2018, he was just totally vicious and brutal, and he was brutal in this one too, but they just had too many scenes where he was getting beat up and just he was old and had a hard time moving and all that stuff. I just think they really messed up with that. Also with the DJ, I still don't really understand the point of having him in there. And also, it was weird and it seemed unnatural how he was so mean to Corey and Allison. I didn't really understand that. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just didn't understand that. So I was definitely happy when I couldn't tell if he was a character that you're supposed to root for or root against. So, I mean, obviously you're supposed to root against him, but it just seemed unnatural the way he treated them. So it was fun to see him get killed and his throat and everything and the tongue on the record. That was a lot of fun. And also with Laurie, I mean, they made her better than in 2018 in Kills, that's for sure. But I just keep thinking that in this trilogy, was she really the same Laurie Strode that we got in Halloween, in the original Halloween? I mean, I don't know. In the original Halloween, she was very timid and mild and meek and just innocent. And so I'm not sure if they did it right. But I'm also not really sure if there's anything they could do about that because, Laurie or Jamie Lee Curtis as a person has changed. And obviously she's very flamboyant and just in your face. She has a very strong personality, which did not show up in her character in the original Halloween, but I think it's definitely showing more in these movies, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying that, compared to the original, I just don't know how well the character continues. So, but I did like her definitely a lot better in than in Kills and 2018. I think her worst performance was in 2018. Well, just in the fact that she's like over the top insane and annoying. Like, she's annoying and she's not supposed to be annoying, and so that they messed that up in 2018. But in this one she was fine, she was funny. I just don't think she should have beat Michael, but that's just me. But we're gonna get more Halloween movies, obviously, so I'm not too worried about that. But I did like how they paid a lot of tribute to Halloween 3. That was a lot of fun. It's always nice to see some movies in the franchise get some love, so I don't mind that. But I do feel like, I don't want them to. I just didn't want them to disrespect Michael Myers. I just feel like this movie did not do enough to make us all respect Michael Myers. I mean, we definitely had to respect him after 2018 and Kills, and with this one, it was just not a very good end to his story, and I think we can all agree on that. I mean, I don't know if anyone really wanted him to die. I mean, that's just not and even if they're happy about that, the way that it happened, it was just so anticlimactic, and so it just feels like a missed opportunity. But at the same time, the movie was such a good movie. It's such a great John Carpenter style movie, a Halloween style movie. It wasn't the best Halloween movie. I mean, come on. You can't tell me. I see all these people that hate Halloween Kills. I don't understand that. It's one of the best Halloween movies, especially with that opening, the flashback. I mean, how it literally feels like you're in the original Halloween. How do people not like that? I mean, yeah, I know they went off with different storylines in Halloween Kills, but overall that was a great Halloween movie. It might not be a great movie, but it's a great Halloween movie. Michael Myers was amazing in that. Like, of course there's no story, so I don't understand why people hate Kills so much. I'll never understand it. Now I need to watch it again and, maybe try to see some other perspectives, but for me, I love Halloween Kills. It's probably not my favorite, but it's way up there because of just the feel of the movie. It felt like a Halloween movie. Michael Myers is stalking. He's there. He's coming. He's gonna kill everybody in his path. In this one, he didn't really do that, but it's hard to compare Kills to Ends or any other movie. It's hard to compare Ends to any movie in the franchise because it's so different, but it was still good. I think people are definitely going to like this as time goes on. People are going to like it more and more, and it's going to be like a cult classic. It has that in it. It has the good things, but I know that 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, people are going to always complain about how Michael Myers got beat up and his mask taken away and all that. People are always going to complain about that. I don't know why they would put that in there. I just don't understand it because they've been trying to show Halloween a lot of respect in this trilogy, and then in the Ends they do that. Why would they do that? I don't get that. I really don't get it. John Carpenter's involved, but we also know that John Carpenter doesn't really, he doesn't hold Halloween and Michael Myers sacred. He just likes it. It makes him money, which is fine. I love John Carpenter. I'm just saying that, I don't think he respects it as much as everyone else does. And so I'm just surprised that they have James Jude Courtney and Nick Castle and all the original actors on the scene and involved in everything, and they treat Michael Myers like that. They did him dirty, and it was just unnecessary. They knew the fans were going to be pissed off about it. I just think if they would have not had that part, like if they would have had Michael give the mask to Corey or something like that, this movie would go over a lot better. It's just that one scene that I really think affects it a lot. It affects it probably the most for me. That's the scene that I can't stand the most. Like, I can handle, in a way, him getting, defeated by Laurie and everything. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I can handle it. But to see him just get beat up and his mask taken away and everything like that, that was ridiculous. So I hope that something will happen in the future that will make up for this movie. And I'm just sad because I feel like the trilogy was so good up until Ends in terms of being a good trilogy. Ends is a great movie, but it doesn't fit with the rest of the trilogy. So I'm pretty disappointed about that. I don't think it's going to be that easy to watch the trilogy back to back to back, and that's disappointing for people in the future that want to do Halloween marathons. So it just doesn't fit as well as it could have. Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills fit so well together. I love those two movies. They did such a good job on those. I was hoping that Ends would feel more like those movies, but it just feels like its own movie. It really feels like Christine, which is a good thing, but it's just not necessarily a Halloween movie, and it's definitely not one that fits into this trilogy. So anyway, those are my thoughts right now. I know it's been a few weeks since the movie released, but I've been here in Mexico and doing different things, so I haven't had too much time, but definitely want to hear what you guys thought about Ends, especially with all the build up to it. And I know we were all excited, so I'm just happy it came, happy we all get to see it and enjoy it and talk about it now, and we'll see how we feel about it as time goes on. And at the end of the day, I feel like the good thing is it doesn't feel like this is the last Halloween movie, and also the last Halloween movie with Michael Myers. So I think even though a lot of people don't like this movie, there's optimism going forward, and that's what I'm happy about. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe for horror videos, horror content. It's going to be a lot of fun here. And let me know what your experience was seeing it in the theater. It was a lot of fun for me. Let me know how it was for you. How much did you enjoy it at the theater? How high was your happiness after you left the theater? Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.